Fam, what is cracking? It is your girl, Lillian Francis. I'm a music producer and educator, and in this channel, we learn that music is fun. I'm so very stoked to have you guys here today because we're going to be breaking down my brand new single, Direct Sunlight. It was a project that I was just like noodle beeping around in for like ever, and now it's fucking done. It is mastered. It is out. It exists, IRL. I find it fascinating to see how other music producers create. It's just like so fun. So I want to show you guys what I did and how Direct Sunlight came to be Direct Sunlight. All right, let's dive in. Splash. All right, welcome to my Proj fam. Let's just start with the drums. What is happening here? That's interesting. Okay, I'm automating this little audio effect rack, which has a Haas delay for some width, some reverb for some girth, and then obviously a dry chain. And I'm just turning that on the chorus and then taking it off for the verse. So it's going from off to a little bit bigger, which makes sense that it gets bigger on the chorus. So love that. Way to go, Lillian. Let's look in these main drums. What do I have happening here? All right, cute, love that. What am I doing? I got a little bit of drum bus, some glue compressor, and I'm also sidechaining all these to my kick so that the kick is still kind of standing right in the middle and everything else is kind of bowing down to it. Sweet, honestly, not that exciting. Something that's weird about the drums in this song is that my chorus drums are totally different from the first chorus to the rest of the choruses. For the first chorus, I have this like shaker pattern happening. But for the next chorus, I have this, which you may notice is also the first pre-chorus. I couldn't decide which one I liked better, and for whatever reason, I was just like, I'm just gonna use both of them at different times. So yeah, that's pretty much the drums, just like a kick and snare and some cool percussion. All right, let's head over to the bass. Oh my God, I went through a lot of different iterations of mixing this bass. Took me a minute to get to something that I was stoked on. Ended up just using some R bass, a little bit of Pool Tech to bump the lows a little bit. Ooh, and this low air plugin, this is by Waves. I mixed with a lot of Waves plugins, and I gotta say, they really slap. This adds lower octaves to your sound. Loved using that. And then what do I have? A little bit of saturation, some utility. I have this utility automating to turn it off in certain points, like. And that kind of adds a cool bounce that I'm down with. And what else? I just have a little bit of Pro Q, a little more of a bump in the lows, and then dipping right around where I have my kick sitting. My kick's a little bit high in this case, and I'm keeping the bass pretty low. And then a little bit of sidechain compression here. And that's basically it. Oh yeah, and then I'm using a Sublab patch right here, which is, what is it? Classy Bender. It's like the fourth one down. Honestly, I picked it, and then it just never changed. I think I added a little bit more distortion, but I basically stuck to the preset. So chill. All right, let's get into the meat. Let's get into the MIDI here. Okay, so what's happening? What's happening here? All right, so let's start off with this little sound. There's not a ton happening in this section other than my voice and like this big energy resample guy. And what is this big energy? I think it's a chopped up something. Yeah. What were we chopping up here? Let's show and finder. All right, I'm sure what I did was resample that Sublab bass and like threw on maybe a pitch loop on it, or maybe I stretched it out and those are just like, it's in Beats Warp mode and it's just like doing this thing. So I did some kind of audio fuckery with the bass, and then I just right clicked and sliced to new drum rack, and then this is what it created. And then with those, I kind of created this foundation for the verse. Okay, fun. What else do we have? Okay, so in the chorus, we have a pad happening and also this mandolin. Let's listen to the pad. I call this one Dark Swarm. I think this is just an Ableton instrument. What do we have here? Yeah, it's just a wavetable instrument that came with Ableton. And what am I doing? I'm really slightly changing the filter cutoff just to give it like a little bit of movement. I have this saw up shaper, which is just an auto pan programmed to just automate the volume going up, 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 off, I freaking love auto pan. It's one of those super basic effects that I just use on everything. Okay, what else? We got auto filter here. We're just opening up the filter as we continue. Music is all about movement, and whenever possible, I try to add some kind of movement in. So that's what I'm doing there. I got this auto pan that's kind of moving it back and forth. At first, just a little bit, and then I guess it gets kind of bigger out to the side as our choruses develop. I got this waves doubler. And this is just to widen the sound. I was experimenting with a lot of different widening plugins and trying to use every single one to just get to know which ones sound best. And this one sounds great. I forgot this one existed. Love it. And then just emphasizing around 1K and then pulling out where we don't need it to shine as much. So that's Dark Swarm. Let's check out our Mando. I'm using this Labs instrument. Mandolin Picked 2. This is a free instrument. Check it out. This is my first time using Labs, but they're pretty sweet. We got some sidechain compression to my kick. We got a little bit of Haas to spread out the mandolin. A little bit of auto pan just to kind of let it wiggle back and forth. And then just a couple EQs. Ta-da! So together, they sound like this. What else do we have? There was this like Omnisphere. I used to have Omnisphere. I don't anymore, but I made this back when I first had Omnisphere, and then later I didn't have it because I got a new computer. So I just froze all the Omnisphere channels. So I don't know what this was, but and then I guess I have this other Omnisphere that comes in on the second chorus. Okay, fun. And then let's see, I froze a couple other things. This is this like chop mandolin. Oh, and this must be related to this chop mandolin. Cool, so I just use a different mandolin sound here, and then a little bit of delay, a little bit of auto filter that we see sweeping up, and then I guess I froze this and then am also panning this one and doubling it. Not exactly sure the difference between these two. I think this one probably had a little bit more reverb on it or something. What else? Another chop bando? Ooh. I wonder if I put like some reverse reverb on there. It sounds cool. It doesn't sound like a mandolin at all. It sounds kind of like a trumpet. Like I'm imagining like a team of mice coming back from like berry picking and like this is playing. I can't do that on the internet, can I? Oh, I have Dreamy ARP here. What's my Dreamy ARP? What's happening? Oh yeah, this hits when the bridge hits. Take you to new dimension. This is a cute sound. I like this. This is just another mandolin. And then let's see, what do we have? An arpeggiator going up and down. We have some sidechain compression, a little bit of auto pan, just having it kind of twirl around. A little bit of a filter delay with some parallel processing, a little bit EQ there, and then an auto filter. This is a pretty simple song, honestly. It's not too much happening here. All right, next section is audio. First off, I have these Mando takes. Okay, this is my friend Gabe, who I had play the mandolin on this, just for the final chorus. Thanks, Gabe. And then let's see, I have this chorus shimmer situation. Where did this come from? Ooh, I have no idea where this came from, but it was resampled. I'm gonna guess that I threw some like very shimmery reverb on the mandolin or something and then got this. And then I have this Mellotron pad. Oh, and I got this harmonizer on it. That's kind of cool. This is a really fun Max for Live device. You can have just a ton of fun playing around with this. You can play around with this forever and keep getting new sounds. So this is kind of cool. I just automated a bunch of the parameters here at the end, so it would like kind of twinkle. That's fun. That's a cute little move, Lil. We love that. I don't know where the sound came from, though. Some kind of resample fuckery. All right, what else do we have for audio? Blippity boop. What's up with the blippity boop? Oh, this is definitely me resampling something in pitch loop and then just chopping it up. That's like my favorite thing to do. Cool. And then I just got some more leads and stuff. These are all just like resampled reverbs, probably spun around. Nice. Dreamy glitter. Yeah, so again, that is just the resampled art, but it looks like I have this dreamy grain delay happening on it as well. I am parallelly processing my parallel processes. That's fun. Oh, I got something called bass glitch. What's this? So that's just a resampled bass. Let's see if we can find it. Yeah, this is just... All right, so I had some weird audio effect on the bass, resampled that, and then chopped it up. Then I also have an auto filter. Okay, so that's it for instruments. Let's look into my vocals though, because that's something I'm really proud of for this song. I think I did a great job. So I record my vocals in a separate project because by the time I'm recording vocals, my project is normally too big and it gets all latenty. So let's just go into my vocal project and I'll show you what it looks like. Pick me up, let's get out of the concrete. All right, so welcome to my vocal production session. So I separate my vocal processing into two different like sections. I will do serial processing and then parallel processing. And I do serial processing in my vocal production session. So you'll see I have waves, real-time tuner. That's just my auto tune to dur. So almost 100% correction, a relatively medium note transition and speed. And then I just set it to the key, which is in F major. I got a little bit of EQ here. You'll see I'm really just dipping out around like 300. That's where I get like the muddiest, grossest part of my sound. Here, let's listen to this. If I boost 300, that's where I get all that gross mud. So I just sweep until I find the grossest mud zone and then pulled it down by like 3, I think. And then I have a compressor here. Splash around in the sun in our bare feet. So I just have a little bit of compression pulling everything together. And then this is disabled right now, but Roth Air is my high-end exciter. I love Roth Air. It's free. Roth Air rocks. It just adds this like breathiness that really helps the vocals cut through and stand out in the mix. And then I added a second compressor to further bring everything together. Up, let's get out of the concrete. And then I have a little bit of saturation, just adding a little bit more high-end harmonic that's kind of helping it cut through. Pick me up, let's get out of the concrete. Splash around in the sun in our bare feet. It's hella subtle, but just helping it cut through a little bit. And then I have one more EQ that's only turning on when I'm singing this section. Because I'm like really accessing this like kind of like nasally part of my voice. So I'm just cutting around, around 1,000 in that kind of nasally zone. It plays again and again and again and again and again and again. So you can hear how that kind of clears it up. And then I have basically that same processing copy pasted onto everything else. I'll change the compression settings and stuff for my chorus, and sometimes I'll change the EQ settings, but otherwise it's basically the same. And then I'll make sure I bounce it with everything down the center and at 0, and then I kind of mush everything and pan everything in the project itself. So let's hop back into my main project. All right, now we're back in the project. You can see that I just dragged in all of my vocal takes. And then from here, I pan them, right? So for my verses, I have them both down the center, but I have my second one like -8 lower. So it's like in the background, but still adding like a little bit of girth to my vocal take. So for things like the chorus harmonies, I have them panned left and right. You were on fire. And I have 3 main choruses as well, also panned down the middle and then left and right. And I was on fire. All right, let's talk about parallel processing because this is where I have a lot of fun. So I reserve all of my return tracks for my vocals, and here are the different options that I have to put on my vocals. I have this verse reverb, which is just the reverb with side chaining to the actual vocals so that when the vocals come in, they're not competing with the reverb at all. And then I also have a little bit of side chain to the kick, and I'm using this mid side to push my reverb out to the side. And I have this high pass right here, which is just cutting out the lows and the highs. I don't really want too much high and low reverb. Next, I have this room verb, which is basically the same thing as my reverb, except for it has a way shorter decay time, so 0.73 seconds. And you can hear I also have my drums and my bass going to this, and a small little room reverb like this is just gonna kind of like puff up your sounds. I think of it as like making a 2D sound 3D, right? It's adding like a little bit of depth with the reverb and also a little bit of width because reverb is making stuff stereo. So just like a little puff of air, just kind of make the sound bigger and also to give it a little bit more space. And then I have this slap delay here, which is just a slap delay with some side chain. This is a fun way of making vocals bigger. And then I have this shimmer up, which is just a filter delay, filtering the delays up. And they're just really small delays, right? So just like a Haas delay with a filter on essentially, and then widening it out a little bit. And then we have a Haas just doing some normal widening. And then I have a delay here, which is a quarter note delay, and I'm really just turning it on at certain moments in the chorus. So like, and then yeah, chorus delay. This is just like a little bit more widening. Do I even use this? It's just it's a Haas delay. I don't necessarily need 3 Haas delays in here, but I got them. And then I have one more delay here. Not exactly sure when I'm using this. Looks like I have a little bit of automation here at the end of my bridge. Play it again in my head. And maybe that's different than this delay, though I'm not sure why. So let's listen to my vocals without any of the parallel processing. And I was on fire. So you can hear how it like comes to life, comes forward. This is like the best for bringing vocals to the front and making them more powerful and emotional. And it's subtle. I mean, if we look at my sends, like I'm not sending a ton, like -20 to -40 kind of. Yeah, slightly more in the chorus. And then what else? Master, I think I got a little bit of like automation of utility where I'm just bringing back the width as we get closer to the chorus and then it pops back up to 100. So it's getting like thinner and you don't even realize it. And then all of a sudden it's like, bam, bigger. I also have a little bit of automation at the beginning because it starts out nice and like thin and then kind of envelops you. And then a teensy bit of gain automation, just bringing it down -1 before our choruses, again, to make the choruses feel bigger. And that's about all, folks. That's the whole dang song, and that's what took me a fucking year to finish, so I hope you like it. So I wrote the song right after I moved into my new apartment, which was the first time I was living by myself, like ever. And I was inundated with like so much freedom. And I felt like if I was paying my own rent and like had my own place to myself, then I had accomplished everything I need to accomplish and I could just fuck off. And so I spent like a month or two just like going on constant rock climbing road trips and had so much fun. And so I remember just listening to like the instrumental draft of this, just like driving through canyons and forests and like listening to it at the crag. And so this song is all about freedom and enjoying being on the road and meeting new people and having spontaneous adventures. And so it makes me really happy to listen to this song. It makes me feel just like free and full of possibilities. So I hope you enjoy the song. If you do, go ahead and stream it on Spotify and all those places, and follow me on Instagram for more updates and to find out when I release new music and new, I don't know, fun stuff like this. So thanks everyone for coming to hang out, and I'll see you next time. Bye.